Shalom. This is your brother Bayan from the Great Millstone Camp in Charleston. I want to start by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the brothers pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the brothers and sisters listening and learning. The hopeful elect. All right. In this one, a scoffer came on the comment board. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a scoffer, man. This question or comment is pretty condescending, man. So that's the only thing I could say. This is a scoffer. And the question goes, what about those who have had an artificial heart? It has an RFID in it, something they had to have. Will they be punished for it? And then the second question goes, it's been repeatedly brought to me that there's a sister who went into surgery, non-cosmetic, from what I'm told, woke up, the doctors without permission put a device in her that contains a chip, and is she condemned? So those are the questions, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna address the questions in this video. Is she condemned? Well, the answer to that is, well, if she's buying and selling, then she's doomed, man. She's gonna be destroyed. But we know that the M.O.T.B hasn't been. The M.O.T.B is here, but it hasn't been mandated yet. And the system, the CBDC, central banking digital currency, as well as the social security network that it's going to be a part of, hasn't been fully established yet. So that has to happen. What I mean is, all right, just like you register your social security number, your RFID chip is going to be registered into a database so they can track you. And you're going to be buying and selling using it to make purchases. And during Jacob's trouble, when this thing is set up. So, a person, just because a person has a chip doesn't mean they have the M.O.T.B. But just because I say that doesn't mean a person doesn't have the M.O.T.B. if they do have the chip. Now the whole thing is consent. All right, consent being the form of worshiping the beast. If you choose to make your life easier in America, Babylon the Great, then you're gonna consent onto his CBDC. You're gonna consent onto his social security network. You're gonna consent onto the conditions to buy and sell in America, Babylon the Great. Excuse me. All right, and that's what it's all about. Now, let's go into Revelation 13 and 11. All right, it says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Now, speaking as a dragon, that goes into his draconian law. The draconian law, all right, they have specific laws, specific rules, and if you were to disobey, then there will be harsh punishment, strict, severe punishment, one likened onto uh, the death penalty. All right, so those guillotines that they bought a few years back, they didn't buy those guillotines for nothing. All right, the government isn't stocking up on weapons for nothing. They're using it. They're going to use it. All right, when Esau goes to implement his new world order, and that's part of the beast. All right, it says verse 12, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and all them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. And he doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. So this is what Esau does. He does miracles. I.e., with his pseudoscience. You know, he does things that men can't comprehend. So we see them as miracles. Great wonder, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. Part of the miracles is his Neuralink, where he's making people who were lame, they're able to walk again. All right, people are now able to connect themselves onto a computer, all right, without having to speak or to type anything. Words will pop up on the computer. These things are the miracles that Esau is putting out there, that Esau's deceiving people by. Let's see. It says, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, this image of the beast is his world economy. His new world economy is part of the new world order. All right, and what gives it power is his military backing. All right, you got the UN, you got FEMA, you got U.S., the U.S. military. You got different militaries of the nations. Then you got their mercenary groups. All right, the mercenary groups of these elites. So all this is backing this new world order in this world economy. And the image of the beast, right? The world economy. All right, what does it need? Well, it needs currency, right? The economy and currency, they go hand in hand. All right, and they're going to use this chip, all right, for the central banking digital currency. And this is how people are going to tap in to the beast system. So when you're chipped, and you tap into the beast system, there you have the mark. That's the mark. People don't understand. But we have Great Millstone has laid it out, and brothers that teach the likewise doctrine have laid it out on a platter for you to digest it. But you guys continue to resist the truth. And I'm going to get into that, man. Because those that resist the truth, they're going to be destroyed. Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. Buy or sell, that's key, that's very important. Because buying and selling, that's you're tapped into his system because you're able to buy and sell. So if you're able to buy and sell, if that woman um, who was implanted with a device without her, consent, if she's consenting, well, if she's buying and selling, she's now worshiping the beast, and she's consenting onto his new world order and his new world economy. You see, now the chip alone isn't gonna condemn her, but her consent, her worship of the beast is what's going to condemn her, what's going to destroy her. It reads, actually, I'll read it again. Verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. And that goes along with your that number. I forgot what it's called, man. It's barcode. It goes along with the barcode, man. So that new barcode, just like you scanning the barcode, is going to be is that technology is inside the chip, and that technology is physical. Well, the chip is physical, but the technology itself has spiritual consequences. If you have that implanted into your body and you're tapped in, there's spiritual consequences. You're going to be destroyed by the Lord when he returns. He's not going to be returning for you. All right, and the verse 18 says, "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636." Now let's go into Revelation 14:9. We'll go into the judgment. And again, it's talking about the worship. It's a doom for worshipers of the beast. Verse 9, Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. And this is when everyone else is beamed up, the elect is beamed up, and those that have worshipped the beast, taking his mark, they're going to be here in Babylon the Great, being destroyed in a lake of fire. So, the message is, don't tap in. Don't tap into Esau's system. Stay away from it. There's a chip on the credit card. All right, there's a chip in the phone. It's not the same. It doesn't have the same spiritual consequences as the mark. You got to understand that. If you don't, then maybe you weren't meant to understand it. Maybe you were meant to be left here on America, Babylon the Great, and destroyed. But the warning's out there. We're warning you. Don't get... If the chip is if the chip is to your left, then you need to go to the right. All right. So, but this ain't nothing new. Questions like this, and I believe it was pretty condescending to me through the spirit. I felt it was condescending, and what came to my mind is Matthew 22. You know, it's the same things that Yahushua went through. 15. It's the same thing that Yahushua went through. He would get questioned. People would try to entangle him in his speech, try to make him go off, try to make him say things that was rebellious, and every time Yahushua would prove to them that he was on a different level, and he was coming with the truth while they were coming with craftiness. This is Matthew 22:15. Then with the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians. Who were the Herodians? Were their family, their kin to Herod and his people. Right? And Herod was an Edomite, was he not? So just like Jake wants to be a part of Esau's society. Jake wants to take that chip so he can make his life easier and still claim that he's working for the Lord. Well, that's not the case, man. If you take that chip, then you make yourself an enemy of the Lord, and you're going to be destroyed by the Lord. And those who take it along with you, they're going to be destroyed too. All right, Jake doesn't want to be condemned for his wickedness, but that's not going to happen. All right, the Lord sent watchmen on the earth to warn men of the false prophets as well as the dangers that's going to approach. And the warning's out here. The warning's out there. It says, and they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true, and teachest the way of the Most High in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of man. So these guys came in a certain way. They came subtly, you know. They came subtly, you know. It's lucky. You know, it came like they were disciples unto him, and good master, we know that thou art true. And that's the spirit I believe that question was in. But meanwhile, they're trying to trip you up on your words. It says neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of man. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? But Yahushua perceived their wickedness and said, Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he saith unto them, Whose is this image and superscription? They say unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto the Most High the things that are the Most High's. When they had heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way. All right, and Yahushua showed that he was on a different level, and he knew their craftiness. They wanted him to be treasonous to the occupying Romans. All right, so that he would be taken up and punished. But Yahweh Shai flipped that on their heads, and they were confounded. This is what's happening now, because there's no new thing under the sun. The truth, they're trying to muzzle the truth. Well, the truth of the matter is that the RFID chip is the start of the M.O.T.B. It's part of the M.O.T.B. All right, if you take that chip, if you take that chip when Esau's established his new world order, all right, because that's when it's going to be mandatory. That's when you're going to receive, that's during the hour of temptation. It's the only time you're going to receive that temptation to take the chip. Otherwise, you wouldn't take it. When you take that chip, you're going to be destroyed. Jake act like he got the chip already. He asking, am I going to be destroyed? Man, looking for loopholes. Trying to get over on the Lord. And this is the second time when the Sadducees came to him about the woman who was married to a brother that passed away. So, you coming in that spirit of Esau, being crafty. We understand the craftiness of Esau. But what it really is doing is marking you as wicked. What the Yahweh Shai said. He says, but Yahweh Shai perceived their wickedness and said, why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? And the hypocrites, their judgment is to be destroyed in the lake of fire. And they're going to get the same judgment as the ungodly, which is these other nations. Let's get 2 Timothy 3:8. And then I'll finish off. Oh, shoot. Because this is what happened during Exodus. Now we're getting ready for this new Exodus, right? The Lord said, we will no more speak about the Exodus concerning Moses. This Exodus from the land of the north is what we're going to speak of. All right, so we're getting ready for this new Exodus, right? So, Jannes and Jambres, they were contentious against Moses in the wilderness. And I'll read it. 2 Timothy 3:8. Now, as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. Who does that sound like? That sound like those guys that don't believe in the 100% truth. They don't believe in the M.O.T.B. All right, that's who that sounds like. Continually resist the truth, man. Resist the doctrine of truth. It goes on to read, men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. It says, but they should proceed no further, for their folly should be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. Just like Jannes and Jambres in front of the congregation of Israel, these guys were delivered into a pit and swallowed up, as well as their families, because they came against the counsel of the Most High, which is Moses. So just like in that time, these men are going to be swallowed up in the lake of fire, and all of the elect is going to see it. It says, Verse 10. But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long suffering, charity, patience, persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch and Iconium, at Lystra, what persecutions I endured, but out of them all the Lord delivered me. That's what the Lord's going to do to the prophets. All right, the persecutions are going to come by Esau, our people, wicked Israelites. Afflictions are going to come, but the Lord is going to deliver us. He's going to deliver the elect. Yea, and all that will live godly in Hamashiach Yahushai shall suffer persecution. And just like Yahushua was persecuted and and crucified, it's going to happen to us. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. They're being deceived and they're deceiving others. And they're waxing worse and worse. This is what's happening today. And if you look, you go to the top of 2 Timothy 3, it says, difficult times will come. The first verse, it says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. So these are happening in the last days, right now. Verse 14, but continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. And the doctrine comes from Yahweh Shem Yashai, given to the leaders of men on earth, which is starting with the apostles of Great Millstone, apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and the men that teach a likewise doctrine, man. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have, And you can go into Exodus and read about Jannes and Jambres, what happened to them. All right, but we're in that time where guys are coming up against us just like they came up against Yahushua. So, to all the faithful, 2 Timothy 3 and 14. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. So just continue in what you have learned, and understand and know that it comes from Yahweh Shem Yashai and not men. All right, there's no loopholes in this thing. We don't try to cut corners. Everything is always for the truth. If you're for the truth, then you're for Yahweh Shai. So with that being said, Lord willing, this was edifying. This provided some insight. With that being said, Shalom.